I can tell you now, I definitely wouldn't be a part of this rally if I didn't feel like God was in it. I just I feel like I'm not answering Glenn's call. I sincerely feel like I'm answering God's call. I mean, I really feel that this is a special moment in history, and there's just an evil out there that is not satisfied until it just consumes and just sets the whole world on fire. And it's crazy to see that just, I don't know, 50 years later it's just happening again. It's like, how forgetful could we be? We're so caught up in our own lives, and we don't see the world changing, and before we know it, if no one does anything, it's going to change. And like, what happened? I know for me that my biggest wake-up call that is a reason why I'm standing here and being a part and hosting a viewing party. Biggest wake-up call probably was in obviously 2011. That really, of course, that woke me up and just seemed like, what is this? I mean, it was my first semester of college. I was going to study international studies, and then for that to happen, it was just a big confrontation to reality and to what we're facing out there. It's just, of course, I mean, it impacted a lot of different people, and throughout the years, just seeing God continue to work in me. And then in 2009, when Glenn would focus and he was talking about that we're not alone, that really made, not just, that phrase didn't make just the impact in me, but just the fact that he proved it by showing stories, showing people around the world, around the country, as what really did it for me then is, and then in 2009, probably the biggest thing that kind of started to really spiral things, really gain momentum in my life was Glenn was talking about that we're not alone. And it was so powerful to see just regular Americans around the country just showing that, hey, that just showed me that, man, I'm not alone in this, that there's something worth fighting for, there's something worth preserving. It's not a lost cause. I mean, that messed me up to see that, and that definitely motivated me to really step out of my boundaries, really step out of my comfort zone and do something, get involved. And looking for the different opportunities, seeking it out, asking God, open a door, show me. And later on that year is when it was presented to me to start a church, and I was like, I would have never pictured myself doing that. And but when God opened that door, I was like, it was right. So we did it, me and my wife, and just amazing just seeing God working and doing really just amazing things in that. And then as the year went on, obviously came the Restoring Honor rally, and that was an incredible day. Like, for most, I wasn't able to go, I couldn't afford to go, but I got up early that morning and got the family together. It was me, my wife, and at the time my 1-year-old little boy, and we're making breakfast. I made little pancakes for everybody, and we're sitting there, have Facebook open, we're watching the live streaming, and I'm watching my little boy. Within the first 5 minutes, I couldn't hold in my tears, just looking at him. It's just this happy little boy, oblivious to what's going on in the world, oblivious to the chaos that he was just born into, and seeing him so happy. I don't know, I felt like just sitting there, eating breakfast, looking at him. I felt like I was doing something. I was doing something that was going to give him a better opportunity. It's hard to explain. That day was just so amazing, just impacted my life so much. But then when the Restoring Courage rally, that opportunity showed up, I was without a doubt, and there was no hesitation. I knew I was doing this. Restoring Honor, we sat there and we took it all in. But now is definitely we needed to respond. We needed to take action, and I just couldn't believe the rhetoric and just the actions and what people were saying around the world, what people were saying in our own country, what government officials were saying, and I'm like, this is not speak for me. Their actions don't speak for me. I have to do something. The people of Israel need to see that this does not, their actions don't speak for us. We're going to speak for ourselves. And so that was one of the biggest motivations. And obviously, our country is tied to theirs. I mean, it's not. There's no denying it. They don't want just land. It's this battle for just wiping them off and then wiping us out. It's just our way of life. And so standing with Israel is really, it's honoring God, because he said, bless those who will bless you and curse those who will curse you. And so I'm definitely gonna be on the winning side. There's no denying that. It's a no-brainer. So, but at the same time, it's not just standing for Israel. I understand it's standing for what is right. It's standing for God's principles and values, the value of life, the value of freedom, the value of opportunity, freedom of choice, free will. That's what standing for Israel means to me. And obviously, then for my family, now I have a 2-year-old and then a 1-year-old, and he's 2 years old.